I just can't get this thing to hold a peak. Maybe it's supposed to be flat. Who would wear it as a flat peak? I am not old!
Go Argos, go, go, go!
What's up, everybody? This is Drew from Section 122 at ArgosEndzone.com. It's time for Week 17 action as the Argos are hosting the Montreal Alouettes. Before we get too far into that game, though, let's take a look back at what happened last week. Wow. I don't know where else to go, but wow. If you missed last week's game, you missed a heck of a game. If you left early, you missed an amazing finish. I'll try to paint as clear a picture as I possibly can. Hamilton up 33-20, a little over 3 minutes left in the game, and the Argos score those 14 points required and then hold Hamilton off. There was a short plunge by Ricky Ray, tip of the cap to Mr. Ray as the offensive player of the week, over 400 yards passing. Then the Argos were able to hold them. Then Ray connected with Owens on a 69-yard touchdown strike, which I was a little nervous because I thought they may have left them too much time for Hamilton to score again. And then the defense just came and bared down. It was fantastic. And the crowd, hey, how about a pat on the back for the crowd? Kudos to Hamilton for being there and making noise, but those Argos fans, I thought, were incredibly loud for the numbers that everybody's claiming were there during that final drive as Hamilton was trying to move the ball. And if you don't think that crowd noise played a factor in the fumbled snap on the 3rd and long, then you weren't paying attention. So it was a heck of a game. Hamilton got off to the great start. Zach Collaros, he's on his way to being a superstar. It was a shame that the Argos had to lose him, but he was clearly ready to start. And when you've got Ricky Ray at the helm, you're not ready to let go of that yet. So Collaros is going to be a thorn in the side for Argos fans for years now, unfortunately. But he played a heck of a game. He was, I think he was just shy of 90% completion percentage, rushed for the long touchdown, so he could beat with the arms and the legs, as was mentioned here last week. He played very, very well. It's funny how you can't win a game on a single play, but you can possibly lose it on a single play. And the two plays that come to mind, well, I guess the one would have to be former Argo Sinkfield, returning punts and kicks for the Ticats, decided to take a glance at the Argos sidelines, reminding them that, hey, yeah, you cut me. And then the Argos remind him why they cut him as they caught him from behind, costing them an easy 6. When you lose by a single point, you leave 3 points on the board. You kind of think, that math is kind of interesting. So it was a heck of a game. You saw some great grit from the Argos defense as they were able to claw their way back into this game. Great adjustments by the Argos offensive line at half, as Ray was not getting a whole lot of time to make those plays in the first half, but they made the protection adjustments needed to give him a little bit extra time to hit that classic deep corner route for Owens for what turned out to be the winning score. Owens came to play. Some said he was invisible in the first half. Let's just say he was well covered, and then was able to showcase his skill set there in the second half. John Childs returned and contributed in a big way. I believe he was 100+ in the receiving. Jason Barnes getting those tough yards over the middle. Spencer Watt with a great touchdown catch, fighting hard to keep that 1 foot in bounds. Rumors are he won't be available for this week. We'll see how things play out. And special teams. This was... Swayze Waters doing a great job on the kicking side of things, but the containment on the coverage team just isn't there. A speedster like Sinkfield made them pay... not desperately pay, but the yardage situation in terms of the field position of the game was definitely in Hamilton's side. So if anybody's been on social media, Hamilton's been calling Toronto lucky, saying that the referees decided that outcome, claiming Owens was offside on the winning touchdown pass. But I'm not an expert on the rule book, but I'm pretty sure that the line of scrimmage is a full yard, so I know it looks close from every angle there, but it looks like he was at the ball when it was snapped. Of course, that's what I'm going to say, right? I'm wearing double blue. So coming off that emotional win, the Argos now have to reset between the ears and get ready for another division rival in Montreal. Another team that's rolling, by the way. And remember, Hamilton was coming in, I believe, winning 5 straight before facing the Argos last week. Montreal's now won 3 in a row. And they absolutely blew out the defending Grey Cup champion Rough Riders there on Thanksgiving. You're starting to see it really click for the combination of Crompton to Carter on the offensive side of things. Montreal's been able to move the ball through the air pretty effectively. And we're not even talking about S.J. Green, who's probably drawing most of the attention, Gavin Carter to get open. That's the one thing I think I'm going to be most aware of is the absence of Jaleel Carter in the Argos defensive backfield, for being able to shut down a guy like Deron Carter. I think that might be the turning point of that game. If the Argos can get up with a scheme to not allow them to get beat deep on that side, and because Carter's got speed and Green has got that size, so you've got to be very aware of those guys, especially when you get inside the red zone. You throw jump balls to Green, and you've got to be able to get up there and fight for it. So this will be interesting to see what type of schemes the defense decides to come up with to try to curtail that. The offensive line, Montreal's offensive line isn't stellar, so there could be opportunities for a greater pass rush. It's that either-or situation. You either have to have good cover men in the air attack or great blitzing schemes to get pressure on the quarterback, so that can't happen. Because either-or, I'm probably leaning toward the latter, especially as you're starting to see that defense. The defense is coming together. It's becoming that bend, not break. They're not flashy, but they don't give up the big yardage. So that would be the big factor. If they can keep the play in front of them, hold Montreal to field goals instead of touchdowns, you start to see that rolling. Again, on the offensive side, the Argos are really starting to click, and you see what happens when you've got a healthy Chad Owens with a healthy Ricky Ray. He only needs that one other weapon, and John Childs is that weapon there last week. We're able to really contribute on that side, draw some attention away from Owens, allowing him to make some plays as well. Running game was understated this week. It's understated every week with the Argos, quite frankly. But I think you had a great combination of Steele, Slayton, and Woodson all contributing on the ground, as well as a little bit in the passing game and picking up the blitz. I think I'm going to give the credit to Scott Milanovich. It was the first one I heard using. They call him the eraser. If you keep that other back in the offensive backfield to pick up the late blitzer, then he erases that extra attacker, the one that gets through that first line, and I think that turned the tide in the Hamilton game. So keep an eye out for that to see if they go with that similar offensive scheme where they keep one back in the backfield to give Ray a little bit more time to make the passing plays happen. Special teams, again, Swayze Zuar is the class of the league. He's going to get the ball deep as long as the special teams containment team can actually contain and keep those returners where they need to be so that the field position doesn't get too far out of whack. This could be the way. Again, they seem to be just kind of clicking along at just the right time. You could argue the same for Montreal, though. So this will be a fun game. My TSN Fantasy Pick for this week has got to be Jason Barnes. You've got Ricky Ray healthy and throwing the ball well right now. You've got Chad Owens contributing every facet of the field. But what I'm expecting is for that short yardage kind of jump ball situation in the end zone where Barnes can use his size and his position to make the big play. It's missed me talking, but watch Barnes in the middle of the field, the short ins, short slants, especially down around the goal line. I'm thinking he's going to catch at least one of those in the end zone where he's out jumping a defender. So if I were you, I would just Jason Barnes. So your Week 25 prediction here, doing the math based on points scored, points allowed over 14 games, the Argos come out slightly ahead with a 25-24 spread. Which, again, that could be a lot of fun, but the way both teams have been rolling the last couple weeks, that seems a little bit low to me. So I think we're going to be that 30-plus range again, similar to what we saw last week, and what Montreal was able to do to Saskatchewan. So I think we're going to see like a 35-33 Argos win here this week. Should be a lot of fun. Come on down. Come on down to the Dome. It'll be a good time. That'll wrap things up for us this week here at ArgosEndzone.com. Hope you had some fun. Feel free to comment down below on what you like or didn't like. And follow us on all of our social media platforms as we keep putting out that good Argos fan stuff to you. Quick reminder that this week is the annual Pink Game. Make sure you gear up in your pink in recognition for those that are still fighting the good fight, those that have conquered, and remembering those that haven't. Get out there, support that every way you can. Speaking of which, the Argos cheerleaders are still selling their calendars, $20 each. Helps the team get out west to the Grey Cup in November. We want to see our ladies loud and proud, just like we want to see the Argos out there as well. This month, I got it hanging up here, this month is Kelly. You're definitely going to want to pick up this calendar. And it's going to be a blast. 4 o'clock, Saturday, in Toronto. Nothing else going on, right? You're going to want to be there. It's going to be a blast. Until next time, this is Jude from Section 122 and ArgosEndzone.com, reminding you that we ride the rail and we ride the hard.
Argos, go!